Ladies and gentlemen, let's Gaming video. Let us further discuss the Xbox One's driver update that you may remember I reported on just recently. Ashan Rashid has actually given more information on this and a little bit regarding the PlayStation 4's future as well. I've also written an article which you can check out, and it's got all of his tweets as well as links to them and much more, as well as the whole conversation in this article if you so wish. Also, I'd like to quickly apologise. I am, as regular viewers know, suffering from a bit of a cold right now, so hopefully you guys can understand me okay. Anyway, I'm going to read you out his comments first, and then we'll get into discussing them a little bit. So he said, a lot of what's going on behind the scenes of both X1 and PS4 is driver optimizations, similar to how updating drivers on PCs. There is tons of room for improvement on both machines, and drivers will be optimized till the end of the generation. No one will yell at the top of a roof that performance is improved thanks to driver updates. These are things happening all the time. Current state of both machines has good room for improvement, and those fruits will manifest themselves in months to come. The combination of better drivers, tools, and engine optimizations will all lead to better fidelity. But if you're sitting at the edge of your seat waiting for an announcement about a driver performance update, it won't happen. Remember what Sony did with the PS3 over the years, and that should hold true of this generation as well. End quote. So this actually comes to us from him after he claims that a couple of people have been misconstruing his original statements. He didn't go too much into detail of that, but effectively, from what I understand, some websites have basically made it seem like the Xbox One is somehow unlocking 10% of extra performance, like, you know, as if it's, I don't know, say a GPU overclock or a hidden chip or something inside the machine. And that's not really what the case is. This is what I was saying in my original video. It's basically driver optimizations, yeah? So it's effectively just Microsoft and Sony, because I didn't speak about Sony in that video because, well, nothing's been announced of them, but it's obvious they're working on stuff too. But this isn't about Microsoft unlocking extra performance. This isn't like the GPU suddenly becoming like 1.5 teraflops of power from 1.32. This is instead a case of them improving, optimizing, and bettering the software they've got, as well as the understanding and the tools that surround the console. Both Microsoft and Sony have done this in the previous generations. For example, the PlayStation 3 had an absolute huge memory footprint with the OS, which was then eventually reduced through a series of updates. They reduced the footprint and they improved the performance of the machine simply by a series of updates, and in turn that gave games developers more resources to work with, which of course in turn means that we're going to get better looking games. Similarly, just like the PS3, we're going to get situations where the toolkits evolve over time. The Xbox Ones have been slightly behind the PS4, if we're right on that. I mean, that's what developers have been saying. So obviously they are working on that to improve things, but the PlayStation 3 was hideously behind the Xbox 360 when it was first released. The toolkits, particularly developing on the cell architecture, were terrible, let's just be honest, and they've improved that drastically. The PlayStation Vita, for example, it actually overclocks the GPU. The GPU actually increases its clock frequency if Wi-Fi is disabled, and these are all things which developers learned over time. It's not like all of this stuff is just given to them in the manual. They have to learn it, and I think people are somewhat taking this out of context. As I said, you're going to be seeing situations where Microsoft are going to release these drivers, optimize the performance of the system, but you're not going to be seeing, you know, all games suddenly playing at 1080p or whatever. It's going to be gradual. But it is going to mean better worlds and more stable frame rates, because ultimately that's what happens as you understand better the ways to improve the performance of the machine, as you better learn to optimize the drivers and the technology. It's going to lead to better stable frame rates. But as I said, you know, 10%, it's not going to reignite the world, but it's good, stable performance. And both Sony and Microsoft are still very early in this generation. Sorry guys, try not to cough at the same time as speaking, which is an interesting experience, but very early in this generation of consoles. We're still so far from even beginning to realise the potential of the systems. I mean, for example, look at games like, oh, I don't know, The Last of Us. Just how far it pushed the system. We're nowhere near that. So, we don't even know the CPU clock speed of the PS4 as of the time of I'm recording this, for goodness sake. So, you know, just relax. This stuff is going to improve over libraries. It's 10% now. That doesn't mean that's all we're going to ever get. That just means that Microsoft have figured, okay, this is how to improve the machine, and these system updates are going to continue. So they're going to slowly improve things over time. Anyway, hopefully that's been a bit of clarification. As I said, I have written an article on this, and you can check it out with all the original tweets, so you can follow along if you so wish. But there's not that much more to really discuss on this quite yet. Obviously, we'll hear a lot more of this, I'm assuming, over the next couple of months, and hopefully we can actually get a bit more details on exactly what the resource allocation is for the machines. Anyway, I'm going to get going, so hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Sorry for being a bit coughy. But unfortunately, even I need to get sick occasionally. But anyway, have a great new year. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.